Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and karibuni to Connect Live, the Wednesday Drive, the only way to beat the traffic, get home, and get some info about cars. Because right here, we answer all your car-related questions. Kama kawa kama kadawa, I'll be your host, Eric Wukabi, Eric with a CK. Now, you know how you do. You come in, tell us where you're watching us from, and pia utume salamu. I can see watu leo wameingia mapema sana. Dennis Masharia is in, and as the rest of the guys come in, because it's I think we are 3 minutes earlier today. Yeah, karibuni sana once more. So behind me is a Toyota Land Cruiser 300 series. It has come in for PPF installation at Donga Car Spa. And I always tell you guys that a PPF goes a long way in protecting your vehicle's paint job. I did that on my Mark II when mnanifuata kwa socials mmeona. Also, there are so many services that happen hapa Donga Kaspa. There is the state-of-the-art car wash, detailing as well, quality tint, sababu pia tint tusiende kuwekewa tint za mitaro, kuja uwekewe high quality tint at a very affordable price hapa Donga Kaspa Runda. Donga Kaspa is just behind Ace Prestige Motors. So ukiwa hapo hiyo njia ya kuingia Runda, you will see them hapo kando. The other thing is, it has been a very exciting day because the Senate annulled the mandatory inspection for vehicles over 4 years of age. So hiyo maneno ya inspection imetupiliwa mbali kabisa. Yes, so we can continue living peacefully, because that was something that was quite rushed. Yes, we don't know if it was for a good cause, but to be honest, it's something that needed proper planning before being implemented. So yeah, hiyo nayo imetoka. We don't have that anymore. Last but not least, remember, we are approaching the month of fog and mist. Now, one thing I'll tell you, and I don't know what your experience has been. Sometimes there is some tint watu weka kioo ya mbele that you cannot see at night when there is fog and tint. So sometimes ukitaka kuwekewa tint kwa gari, leta mahali kama Donga Kaspa, consult first on the tint that is being put on the vehicle, test it to see whether you can see at night. Na kama huwezi ona, we just do a clear film to shield the heat from coming in. Inaitwa sunblock tint. So before tuanze kusalimia watu, yes, so news time, NTSA mandatory inspection for vehicles under above the age of 4 has been nullified by the Senate. And big thanks to Motorist Association of Kenya. Yeah, they really lobbied for that. They have done quite a good job, because yes, wametuondoa mahali tungekuwa in utmost chaos. So what other news do we have? Okay, yes. Also on Monday we had a track review on the channel. So if you have not watched it, and watch, it's about a Chinese truck called the JMC Carrying Plus. And kama wewe ni mfanyabiashara mdogo, it's something that you can actually consider. Wase wengine kama akina aunties mwanzo walisema hiyo gari iko underpowered, but there is something I'll tell them about that vehicle in a while. If you missed it, you can watch it. Iko hapo kwa channel. Well, I also want to break some interesting news. So next week, or is it next week or the other week? We will be doing something that most people are saying is impossible, and that is tutatafuta msee mwenye ako na mzigo ya kitu 5 tons na nitambebea hiyo mzigo na lori kutoka Nairobi hadi Kisumu free of charge on an electric truck. Yes, nitambebea mzigo ya 5 tons for free from Nairobi to Kisumu. So if you know anyone who needs some luggage transported from August the 9th, yes, I'll be happy to do that, to carry that load for him free of charge kwa lori ya stima. Because, you know, it's funny that most people tend to laugh about electric mobility, but very soon you're going to start seeing electric trucks and electric matatus on major transport corridors, and I'll explain why. Number one, Rubis and Basigo have partnered to install charging stations at their fueling stations across Kenya's major transport corridors. If you know of Basigo supply electric buses and most recently vans. Basigo has started to do local assembly of the electric PSVs, and now it will be very easy to travel from Nairobi to Eldoret or Nairobi to Kisumu in an electric van, because these chargers that will be installed in these Rubis fueling stations are DC chargers, and this means they can charge these vans in under 1 hour. Meaning ile time una spend pale Nakuru stopover will be enough to recharge that vehicle. And then this is the other thing. Ujue hiyo gari range yake for the vans is around 300 and something kilometers. Hapo 320. So by the time you get to Nakuru, it's about itakuwa hapo 60-50%. So in 30 minutes hiyo gari itakuwa imejaa tena na itakuwa imefika LD ama Kisumu. So that's a very new move. So on the channel kuna Monday tutakuwa na hiyo. I'll start with my socials because I'll try to do a live update of that trip from Nairobi to Kisumu, and it's not going to be from Nairobi to Kisumu only. It's going to be from Nairobi to Kisumu. Hapo tutabebea mtu 5 tons, then Kisumu to Eldoret tutabebea mtu mwingine 5 tons, na from Eldoret to Nairobi. Pale Eldoret hiyo gari itakuwa hapo Neon Mobility for a day. So if you'll have the chance, unaweza kuja pale Neon Mobility and get to see an electric 5-ton truck and see that electric mobility is slowly coming closer to us. By the way, for a very long time, electric mobility has been termed to be stories ajaba. Guys, electric mobility is coming in faster than you may think. Haya, wacha tuanze na salamu. Dennis Bashawe is saying uko loud and clear. Asante sana Dennis. Achieng Frederick is tuned in from Mudete, ready for Wednesday. Mudete ni kule kwa Maragoli, eh? No, Mudete ni kwa Maragoli ama Mudete ni kwa Mudete ni kwa Maragoli by the way, o ama ni kwa Waisuka? Clarify. Antiz Mwanza saying news. Asante sana Antiz. Mother Cairo is saying hello CK, watching from Saudi Arabia. Karibu sana wadau wa Saudi Arabia. Who else? We have James Munyi. Hello CK, watching live from Bondo. Asante sana James Munyi. We have Dennis Mashari saying, "Hi Wakabi, hope Kopoa. I'm watching from Nanyuki. Good to see you. I have been a fan since you reviewed the Honda Step Wagon in your previous channels." But then Dennis Masharia, you know that Step Wagon bado iko to this day. Hiyo gari 6 years on the road, no problems, bado inabeba watoto pale Westlands. In fact, ukiwa pale Westia asubuhi utaiona. A very nice red KCX. So thank you so much, Dennis, for also walking this journey with me. TK is in. James Munyi is saying, do we expect electric trucks in any market? Yes, we do. I have personally driven a Feidi electric truck, ya Go Kabisa, and I've also driven, I have also driven their Prime Mover, and they are really fun to drive. So yes, you should expect electric trucks as well. We have Achieng Frederick is saying Mudeta is for Maragoli Kabisa. Yes. Sandi sana Achieng Frederick. Evelyn Jerry is saying tuned in from Dubs. Wale watu wa hiyo building kubwa yao inaitwa nini? Thank you so much by the way to all Kenyans who watch us from diaspora. We tunawapenda sana na we like keeping you up to date on what is happening at home. Mafokisio Lesotho is watching from Lesotho. By the way, guys, Kenyans, it's not pronounced as Lesotho. it's pronounced as Lesotho. And let me give you a fun fact, guys. Do you know that Lesotho is one of the few African countries where you will actually experience snow? Going to Lesotho and driving in Lesotho is actually on my bucket list for next year. And the reason why Lesotho is on my bucket list is actually because, being used to driving in the mud, tarmac, and also sand, snow is quite challenging as well. And that's why I really want to try Lesotho in snow. Lesotho is actually a very beautiful country. So it's at least one of the places you must visit once in your life. Lesotho, Eswatini, tembeni huko wase. So maforokisio, the tembeni means visit. So let me try to keep this in English so that everybody can listen to this, can understand. We have David Kamondo. Hi Wakabi, I'm about to source a Mazda Demio Mazda 2 diesel via auction in Japan. Best mileage would you recommend? If you're sourcing a vehicle that you need to use HAPA locally, just the lower the better. The lower the mileage, the better. Tech Appeal is saying, I regret selling my Toyota DX with the rear leaf springs. I relate. I can relate. Dennis Katali is watching from Kismayu, Somalia. Thank you so much, Dennis Katali. Dennis, when did you go to Somalia? And I hear there is a thriving business in Somalia, so you can also share with the AutoConnect viewers. Cosmas Monda is saying, hi CK, thank you for these alluring conversations. I have gained much car knowledge. I have a clean Mercedes-Benz B18 2015 model available for sale in case someone needs it, watching from Langata. Cosmas Mwenda, we will help you sell that car. So send those photos to our number 0710 844 863. And I'll post them on my socials as well. Tell me how much you asking for that car. And you can see who in our family is looking for one. Kevin Moturi anasema, hello Eric. Rogers Kemboi, I'm currently driving a very clean 2008 BP5. Should I go for the 2014 SJ? So Rogers, one of the biggest things you will notice that will be different from moving from the legacy BP5 to the SJ5 is the driving feel. The SJ, remember, might have better fuel economy, but since it comes with a Lineatronic CVT, sometimes it might feel like you're driving a lawnmower or a golf cart, but at least they put in some paddle shifters. And these paddle shifters are just to simulate a feeling of driving an automatic vehicle. So you will gain on fuel economy, but you will lose on the driving thrill. The other thing is maintenance-wise, you'll also gain because now the SJGs come with what do you call it? They come with a timing chain, not a timing belt. So you have a more reliable valve train. If you maintain the gearbox vizuri, it will do you no harm. Also, the steering is going to feel a bit different because you will now be driving a vehicle or a steering system that is powered by a servotronic motor. So in the electric power steering, basically. Yeah, so those are some of the things that you will be, you'll be changing, but what will remain constant is the ability to go off-road. At least you'll have better clearance on this one, but you'll have an improved symmetrical all-wheel drive system. But on the SJGs, you will have what we call the X mode to enhance your driving capabilities and your off-road driving capabilities. And let me tell you something funny about X mode. So I hope you guys know that Toyota owns some stake in Subaru, and they have been working on some very interesting joint projects together. And one of the joint projects they worked on is actually a very interesting car, the Toyota BZ4X. The Toyota BZ4X is also sold as BZ4X is an electric vehicle by Toyota. BZ4X means it's beyond zero emissions. 4 means it's 4-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, and X means it's a crossover SUV. So now that we're talking about X mode, I think it's high time that I also get to talk about this. So Subaru contributed X mode in the BZ4X, and the BZ4X is the same vehicle that is called the Subaru Solterra. Just like Toyota had some joint projects with Subaru on the, it's called the there's a certain boxer engine that actually, what is it called na kwa hiyo nasahau, nitakumbuka before tumalize hii kitu, but they had a joint project on this car, the Toyota BRZ, that is also sold as another vehicle. So they have very interesting cars on their joint projects, and let me tell you, hakuna kitu mzuri kama, there's nothing that is as good as mixing Toyota and Subaru, because Subaru are very good with all-wheel drive systems. They are very good with boxer engines. Toyota are very good with hybrid technology. And you see, the one of the new Mazda hybrids is actually a Toyota RAV4 hybrid drivetrain from everything in Toyota. So Toyota and Honda are very good with hybrids. Subaru are very good with all-wheel drive system. So when you put them together, great things happen. In fact, Subaru are good with performance and all-wheel drive system. So when you put them together, great things happen. Let me see. Justin Sereti, Nicoloct as usual from Kampala. Niaji Eric, tell us more about Zado products. Can you advise someone to use? Do you trust the chemistry behind the products? Well, Zado is a reputable brand. For that, I'll be honest. Zado is a reputable brand, but to use additives or not to use additives, that's purely a personal choice. But you know, if you're to be asked, do they work or not? Well, it's hard to tell if additives work or not unless you really observe. Like for the DPF cleaners, those ones work, because you see, unaona hiyo ni kitu unaona, it's something you can see. For the fuel system cleaners, those ones also work because they are detergents, and we have detergents in other fuels like V-Power. They also have detergents to clean the fuel systems, and not only V-Power, even some other fuels like Exeliums. And Exelium, Total also has some detergents in it to clean the fuel system. So the good thing about additives is that you can always follow. And the other thing is, if you're using an additive, it's like medicine. You need to know what dosage am I using. You really have to follow the instructions, because if you don't, well, you're just going to be wasting money. Although some of these additives, I must say, are exaggerated. That one I must say, some of them, it's just the snake oil theory. But for octane boosters, fuel system cleaners, catalytic converter cleaners, DPF cleaners, those ones, you will feel the difference. The good thing is that you can feel the difference. I wouldn't use an additive that I can't see or feel the difference. Kevin Mature is saying, hello, Eric. Thank you so much, Kelvin. Nimepokea salamu. Roger Skembo is saying, I currently drive a very clean. No, that one I have answered. Achin Frederick is saying, Lesotho has the highest and lowest point in the whole world. It's the lowest altitude is 1400 meters. Achin Frederick, yes, it has the. Yes, I understand. Gerutush is saying, hey, Eric, love your job. Kindly explain how a 2265 would attract a tax of 3.3 million, while the CIF is 2.7 million. Very nice. Now, the Kenyan motor vehicle tax system is not really determined by the value of the car, the CIF. So when you're paying taxes for your car, you have two choices. Either you pay based on the invoice value, or you pay based on the CRSP. So for a 2022, I know you will be paying more taxes because it's a newer vehicle, and now that's the the irony about our CRSP system, because the newer the vehicle, the more the taxes you pay. The older, the less the taxes you pay. But I feel 3.3 million is a bit of an overstretch. 3.3 million for a CX5 2022. That one is a bit on the higher end, but well, you need to speak to your agent. Do you have the? Are you sure the vehicle has not accrued any damages, or you did not undervalue the car at one point? So is the 3.3 million not getting there because of a fine or accrued damages? We need to know that. So Gary Tush, you can reach me through the WhatsApp number 0710 844 863, and we'll be able to talk more about that. But I doubt a 2022 CX5 would attract a tax of 3.3 million. Paul Kahoro is saying, good evening, senior, watching from Nanyuki. Thank you so much, Paul Kahoro. Asante sana. Who next? Mumwa is also here. Thank you so much, Mumwa. Okay. Joseph Mararo, VP Eric, doing a good job. Thank you so much, Joseph. We have Dennis Mashario saying, hi, Wakabi. I'm torn between a Honda Civic 2007 and a Mitsubishi Lancer 1500cc or a RAV4 Fast Gen. I have around 15 kilometers drive every day with a 5 km off-road, which is the best choice. Budget is 350K. Well, I always say in most cases, the newer, the better. However, if you see these two cars, if you're looking at a Civic, a Lancer, and a RAV4 is basically more versatile, but it also happens to be the oldest in this series. But the RAV4 will give you one thing the others will not give you. It will give you ground clearance, and it will also give you some off-road capability. So it has an added advantage. The Lancer will probably have the best fuel economy in this series. So if you're looking for fuel economy, the Lancer is going to be the best. The Civic 2007 is an amazing vehicle, but you really have to ensure that it's clean. Sometimes you might have challenges, especially sourcing body parts, but in terms of reliability, they are reliable vehicles. But I would say the most reliable would be the RAV4 Mark 1. So the only thing that you'll be saving, you'll be losing if you get the RAV4 Gen 1 is, what will you be losing? No, you'll be actually, it's the least economical on fuel among the three, but it's the best in terms of versatility, and it also happens to be the oldest. So make your choice. It's actually the best, but the most thirsty, and also the the oldest. So those are things to really sit down with a pen and paper and know, what am I willing to lose and what am I willing to gain. It's called opportunity cost. MGFX number mingi is saying, would you recommend between a Nissan Skyline GTT 2000 and a Mazda 6 2.5 liter? Would you recommend for a car enthusiast? To be honest, I will recommend the Mazda 6 2.5 liter. To be honest, it might be front wheel drive, unlike the GTT, which is based on a Mercedes-Benz W205, but the Mazda 6 will win in terms of several things. One, the steering response. The steering response in a Mazda 6 is simply amazing. The reliability, the reliability and cost of maintenance of the Mazda 6 is top notch. The other thing is, one comes with a 7-speed auto. The Mazda 6 comes with a 6-speed auto. But overall, the Skyline GTT will give you comfort, and it will give you better performance because it's turbocharged. But in terms of overall reliability and resale value, if you're considering resale value, just go for the Mazda 6, because I have been looking around the market, and these Skylines GTTs, most of them they get beat up very quickly. I have tried to inspect a few in the local used markets, and all of them happen to have either transmission issues or engine issues. So you would be safer with a Mazda 6. That's bro to bro advice. So Mulu Harrison is saying, big up Mr. CK, Peugeot 3008 and 208 are looking fine. What's your comment on them as a fast car, especially the 3008, since it's competing with the Tiguan, CX5, and RAV4. Okay, the 208, fine. But the one thing you should know about the 208 is the wet belt system. You know, their timing belt is inside the oil. And that is not the best of things when it comes to maintenance, and also when it comes to what could really go wrong. When you talk about the 3008, we are talking about a subcompact crossover SUV that annoys me because when you put it into sport mode, it has speakers that produce a certain rumble to try and mimic an engine that is producing that rumble of power like a V8 or something, yet it's powered by a puny 1.6 liter engine. Anyway, that's not that sorry, you see shida. But if you're comparing the 3008 to a Tiguan, CX5, and RAV4, I will personally, if you're looking for something European, the 2008 the 3008 may have the looks, but the Tiguan is actually a more relatable European platform. It has you'll either get the Tiguan in the 2 liter diesel, 2 liter petrol, or 1.4 liter petrol. But I would say a Tiguan is a more familiar. It's a more familiar platform. Comparing it to the 3008, you'll get more support for the Tiguan as compared to the 3008. The other thing is, if you're comparing it to a CX5, now if it depends. If it's the first time car, I would rather you go for reliability. And if you're going for reliability, go for the CX5 or the RAV4. That is what I would recommend. CX5, RAV4 purely for reliability purposes, because in terms of the reliability score, the Tiguan and the 3008 do not really score highly. Plus, also you'll get more support for the CX5 and for the RAV4 than you will. Of late, there has been some conversations going on in the interwebs, and people say, "Oh, nunua European, pesa ni yako. Oh, nunua, do this. You only live once." Yes, you only live once, and I agree, pesa ni yako. But the day that vehicle will start frustrating you, that is when you'll start knowing that sometimes make wise choices, and also make choices with your finances in the picture, because there is something that most Kenyans actually don't look at, and that is, am I wealthy or am I rich? Because also imagine, if I'm fired today, assuming you're employed, can I be able to keep that car on the road? If I'm fired today, can I be able to quickly sell this car at a good price and buy a car that is, cheaper, use the remaining money to start a business, and then niendelee na life? Ask yourself these questions, because employment, especially for the people who are employed, employment is not permanent. For the people who are in business, at least we never have big problems with people who are in business. People who are in business rarely make emotional decisions. Most of the time, you'll find them making logical decisions. Before they buy something, they will really think about it. But for the people who are in employment, most of the time, they will make choices based on incomes that they are thinking zitakuja in future. Una make decision ya leo, you're making a decision for August based on income that you will receive in April of next year. That's one of the biggest challenges people in employment have. So even when you're choosing, it's good to have, can you buy a car that if in case I'm fired today, look at the long term. Can I be able to sell it quickly and maybe downgrade? Or if not, have I nimejipanga kutosha to keep this car on the road? Those are some of the conversations you need to have with yourselves before you actually commit to buy some of these vehicles. And we move on. Let's move on. David Kamau Maina is saying Chinese cars are coming. For example, the Jaguar J2 has officially outsold the Prado 250 in South Africa with a ratio of around 3:1. Any manufacturer that is ignoring the Chinese will be in for a rude shock. I keep on saying this, and I'm saying the same about electric mobility, especially in the PSV sector. But you know who Kenyans are? They only believe when these things happen. Tuendelee. Mumo is saying Wakabi. Josh Homan is glad to be here. Thank you so much, Josh Homan, for always being here. Murigi Karaoke is also glad to be here. Thank you so much, Morioki Marigi. Morioki is one of Mafansugu wa Auto Konnekt hapa. David Kamau Maina is saying Toyota has I agree, Toyota has very good hybrid systems. Toyota and Isuzu are up for a new hybrid truck, but should we look for another strategy because their durability and reliability song is getting old? Uh, let me speak about this. Uh, David Kamau Maina. You see, when you look at Toyota and Isuzu, for those, let's put cost aside and think about the general quality of what they produce. So if you look at the past, were Toyota and Isuzu reliable? Yes, they were. If you look at the current, Toyota and Isuzu, are they reliable? Yes. So what does that tell you about the future? They'll still keep their aspect of reliability, even when we have Chinese coming in. To be honest, it will be very hard to beat Toyota, Isuzu, Honda in terms of quality and reliability. It will be very hard. Just like today, we do have so many Chinese phones in the market, and they are good with amazing features, but it's still going to be, even when they outsell other brands like Samsung, like the iPhone, we still know deep down that the quality of iPhones and Samsung is quite superior. So outselling in terms of price, but you see also the markets has significantly changed, and that is because people these days are not buying cars based on longevity, durability. Buying the car has stopped being a long-term investment and suddenly becoming a short-term investment. So the market has really changed drastically, and that's why the Chinese are selling, because they are selling nice features at good prices. So the car buyer of today is buying Chinese because they are not really interested in longevity, durability. That's the truth. So we are looking at an age where consumerism is at its peak. And one thing that I love about Toyota is that they actually have a philosophy, and that is Kaizen, continuous improvement. They also have something they call QDR, quality, durability, and reliability. So if you look at a company that is not only running towards profit but towards some set philosophies, that tells you that this is a company that actually has culture in it. So in this era, what I can tell you guys is Chinese are coming, they will be a darling to many, they will fill our loads, but also they will also fill our junkyards. That's the truth and nothing but the truth. Because you see, even with electric vehicles, Toyota is giving a 10-year warranty on the battery. You know, that's serious. That's a serious gamble to give a 10-year warranty on the battery. So yeah, we are seeing changes in the market. Chinese will be embraced, but and the reason why people are saying the reliability song is getting old, it's because the ordinary consumer is now not buying a vehicle based on the fact that it's a long-term asset. Let me pick up these questions haraka haraka. Today we are finishing a bit earlier because I do have a commitment somewhere. So leo mtaniruhusu tufikishe at least 8:45 So nitapitia hizi maswali mbio mbio kidogo. Let's see. Okay. So okay. Let me see. I think watu wameuliza maswali mingi. Okay. Is Isa Inzani is saying, hello, Eric. My 2018 Mazda Axela displays average fuel consumption of 13 kilometers to the liter on the highway. I changed the plugs, but still no change, no check engine light whatsoever. One, you need to know if you bought genuine spark plugs, and secondly, sometimes those fuel, I'll call them computers, sometimes you to pambao. So the best way to actually measure your fuel economy is fill up the tank, tembea, fill up the tank again, and use the difference to know the kilometers per liter. Uh, Hello, watching from Nairobi. JP Number Mingi is saying, watching from Nairobi, what options would you recommend for a budget of 1.5 million, especially for locally used options for a first time? So for this, are you looking at a crossover SUV, a sedan, a hatchback? Because if you're looking at 1.5 can get you a Subaru Forester SG, not SG, SH. It can get you an SH. It can get you a Vanguard. It can get you a 2016 Mazda Axela. It can get you a Toyota Axio, preferably those are 2016 Bado. So there are so many cars to choose from. So it's good to know if you're looking for fuel economy, if you're looking for reliability, if you're looking for a sedan, a hatchback, or a crossover SUV. Donald Vini saying, hello, Eric. I have a Toyota Allion T260 2010 model with a 2-liter 3ZR. It loses power in drive and reverse, and I'm suspecting the coils are not in good condition. As a part original had the plugs. Well, it loses power in drive or reverse. I'm suspecting the coils. Have you done a diagnostics? Have you tested the coils? You know, if you're getting genuine spark plugs, I'll be honest, get them from Sifao. That's the only place you'll be guaranteed to get genuine spark plugs or import. About the coils, you need to really, I would say you need to test them. You need to test them. Do not suspect, test them, because you see, losing power in reverse, and it can be either the spark plugs or the coils, or even further, it can be the transmission. So it's good to take the vehicle to a good mechanic who will do all the tests and mtu ajue shida iko wapi. And talking about a good mechanic and good diagnostics, we have a garage in Eldoret. It's called Neon Mobility. Last week tulikuwa huko tukafanya clinic, watu Eldoret wakatokea. We were very happy. And at Neon Mobility, for the people of Eldoret, diagnostics is absolutely free. Nobody charges you for diagnostics at Neon Mobility. So you can bring in the car, tell me it's behaving ABCD, or tell Ezekiel utampata pale, or a lady called Abby, ama jamaa mzee mzima anaitwa Brivon. Pia hapo kuna a guy called Moha, enda umwambie gari yangu is behaving ABCD, can we do a diagnostics? Diagnostics at Neon are free of charge. And the reason we have done that is to prevent people from making costly mistakes, because you will buy, utanunua plugs, utanunua coil, and then upate ni gearbox, bado utanunua gearbox. So it's good to take the car for some very good diagnostics. Tuendelee. Let's proceed. Dennis Katali is saying, Mr. Okabi, with a budget of 800k maximum, can I get a good Mazda Axela smiley face? Ama niende slow GH2? Naona filter cause leaf magnet. Dennis Katali, those smiley faces are sold for between 800 to 1 million. So yes, you might get one, ni vizuri, but tutafute pole pole. Okay. David Kamamaina is saying, when I hear someone saying that Subaru Forester is better than the CX-5, I realize that you have no idea about cars, because CX-5 is engineered brilliantly with an automatic. Subaru only wins in all-wheel drive. Okay. Hiyo sai comment sahi. I would not say that because better is relative. Better is relative. I would say you need to know what you're looking for, because each of the vehicles has both winning points and losing points as well. Eric Wanyonke saying Eric Okabi's Green Trooper is installed without any locks. What do you mean? Eric Wanyonke, what do you mean? Niambie. Mafokis or Lesotho is saying Lesotho's lower point of its is Lesotho's lowest point of Lesotho's lowest point of east is located exactly at the junction where and Sengu Orange Rivers meet. However, interesting driving uphill is Mountain Pass where trucks get stuck regularly. Yeah, that's where you want to come. Yeah, asante sana, our friends from Lesotho. Eric Wanyerike is saying, I do see Toyota Mark II. No, my Mark II is outside. My Mark II is outside. Here we have a 300 series. There we have a Hilux. My Mark II is packed outside there. Justin Karaoke is typing while deleting. Paul Kahoro is saying, two questions. Toyota Taones Nguruwe, which is better, diesel or petrol? Question 2, if you are to buy a VW Golf pre-2020, which production year would you go for? If I was to buy a Golf, I would buy a Mark 1. I would buy a Mark 4. Yeah. Is Mark 4? Yes, Mark 4. Mark 1, Mark 4, and Mark 6. Those ones are the one. So for the Taones Nguruwe, well, it depends. For hard work, diesel is good. For light works, petrol works. Francis Mwangi is saying, hello, I have a budget of 550 ton between Mark II and Nissan Tiana T30. Mark II, definitely. Mulu Harrison is laughing. David Kamau Minor is typing while deleting. Bill Odera is saying, hello Eric, how is Peugeot 1200cc for the first time car owner? Ile mlienda nayo Uganda and Tom, local used. That's actually a 308. They are good vehicles, but you need to keep the maintenance in check because sometimes they will suffer from excessive oil consumption, and you also have to put that timing belt in check because it has a wet belt system. Being a 1200cc, it will give you good fuel economy, but sometimes you feel that it's a small engine. Ukirev sana, you feel it struggling a little bit. Mesut is saying, good evening, Okabi. Only Datsun 1200s are common nowadays. There is one Empire 07 has built. Is it possible you could do a full review of the history of it? Also, their popularity in South Africa. Actually, Mesut, there is such a video on the channel. You can check it out. I've done it. But we can do, that's something that we'll definitely do. Something I'll definitely work on. David Kamau Maina is saying Mitsubishi is a weirdly managed company. They discontinued the Evo 4 G63 Pajero Sport and the Pajero itself. Instead of developing a new engine for the Triton, they have added a complicated staged by turbo setup. Yes, that's true. Mitsubishi is a weirdly managed company. So let's continue. Michael Hambi is saying, hello, Okabi. They always say Mazda diesels, you should be rough on the acceleration pedal. Is it true, or you can just drive normally after sometimes just with the DPF cleaning? Yes, you don't have to be aggressive. And even with DPF regeneration, you only have to drive the vehicle on highway speeds. That's between 80 and 110 for like 30 minutes. Yeah. Jackson Kiprop is saying the new Honda Insight is top notch. Wait, I'm looking for that question. Oh yeah, the new Honda Insight is optional. How would you rate it against the likes of Atenza Premium in terms of value for money and reliability? Comment on the latest model of the Impreza G4. Latest model of the Impreza G4, do you mean the 2026? Also, today we delivered an Insight to Mombasa to one of our viewers here. The new Insight, especially on the hybrid part, is quite reliable. And I would say you cannot compare an Insight to a Premium. You can only compare it to what the Honda comparative to the Premium is the Accord. That is the same comparative to the Mazda Atenza. But if you're comparing a Honda Insight, you probably compare it to a Toyota Axio or a Mazda Axela or a Mazda 3, but not the premium or but generally they are good. David Kamondo is saying, why are showrooms high costing my favorite Suzuki Jimny 660cc 2.4 M? Jimnys are generally expensive. Jimnys are not cheap. Neomok, as I've driven from Nairobi to Kisumu on Mark II. I hope to repeat it again when I visit Kenya. Yes, Mark IIs are very nice. Last week I drove mine from Nairobi to Eldoret, then drove it to some place on the Nairobi Kisumu road, the Eldoret Kisumu road that is called. There's a certain resort there. Then drove it to Iten, Marigat, Nakuru, and back to Nairobi. I've driven my Mark II is actually at around 400,000 kilometers on the original engine. So yeah, it's a beautiful car. It's also very comfortable. The only problem is that it's a bit thirsty, but manageable. Thirsty but manageable. So guys, I have 3 minutes to be with you here. Fred Rafter saying, hello, bro. I have a budget of getting E200 to 20 new model or GLC 300 coupe. My budget is 6.3 million. Is it possible for an import from the or source from the Kenyan showrooms? Well, importing will give you a better deal in terms of grade and also pricing, but we also have them on Kenyan showrooms. But on Kenyan showrooms, you really have to make sure you're getting a quality vehicle. So that's what I'll advise. If you need any assistance in sourcing these vehicles, kindly reach out to us on 0710 844 863. Asanteni sana. Peterson Kibara is saying, Wakabs, what damages the engine of a premium 1800cc second model? I presume that's a 260. I gave my vehicle to a friend and now the engine is damaged. The mechanic says I have to buy a slim engine. So it can be damaged as a result of one, overheating. It can be damaged as a result of a knock. So those are the two main things that would actually damage that engine. So you need to know what your friend did with that car. And it's also quite difficult to damage that Tuzedar. It's quite neat. Mudhe Cairo is saying, remind me of the proper name for the 7L and 9L, please. So they are called the H200, and they'll be either the H200 standard wheelbase or the H200 long wheelbase. Most long wheelbases, the so-called 9Ls, will be either depending on the engine. If it's now we have GDH, we have GDH, we also have KDH. So it depends on which engine, but mostly the 9Ls are called commuters, H200s. The 7L are also H200s, but the standard wheelbase. The codes can get a bit confusing. So guys, leo naomba mniruhusu niwaache mapema kidogo, but I'll just pick a few questions. Swish Official saying, is RAV4 2020 hybrid reliable car? Yes, it's reliable. Erica Mambo is saying, Kiongozi, 2019 Toyota Sienna versus 2019 Honda Freed for the same price, which is value for money for mama's use kule Kitale. I would go any day for a Toyota Sienna because of one thing: availability of parts. Sientas, especially for Kitale, will do well. I have bought, FYI, I have bought a Sienta from Kitale hapo awali. Yes. So namba ya kutuma pesa ya Guinness ni 0710 844 863. Nitashukuru sana. Peterson Kibara is saying that slim engine ya premium 800. Now that slim Kwanza, I would need to know one thing. Is it the Valvematic one? Do this, Peterson. Send me the. You see that placard that is on the vehicles, ile iko na chassis number. Chukua picha, tuma pale kwa 0710 844 863. 0710 844 863, and I'll be able to see it and I'll be able to advise and also make sure you get a good deal. Andre is saying, and was Eric, sir, what is overpriced for a Mercedes-Benz E200 W210? Prices are all over the place. I think the price, Andre, will be mostly determined by how clean the vehicle is and also how attached the owner is to the vehicle. Because there are guys who will be selling those 210s for as low as 400 to as high as 800,000 Kenya shillings. Also, it depends on generation. The newer ones are quite pricey. Also, the engine, because some of them will come with oh yes, also the engine matters a lot, but the prices will be anywhere between 400 to 800,000 Kenya shillings. Kariuki Mwangi is saying, in terms of performance, what's the difference between Toyota 110 and Toyota 111? That depends on the engine they are coming in, because you see, we have the AE 110 and AE 111, and we have the EE 110 and EE 111. So it depends on which engine they are coming in, either the 4A, 5A, or 5E. It varies with the engine they are coming with. So guys, nani amesema? Oh, Eric Wanyoke is saying Isuzu Trooper iko wapi? No, my Isuzu Trooper has been at home. We are waiting for Mad for Fun, which is happening this August, the 13th and the 14th of August, Saturday na Sunday. So that's the Trooper will be out to play in the mud. Trooper ni gari ya kutulia tu. KI is saying, hello Eric, do a jet tour review. We'll do that shortly. Francis Mwangi, the Isuzu Trooper is sitting at home. In fact, I think I'll start it tomorrow and do a video and post on my socials. The Trooper is very much there. I have never sold it. I'm very attached to that car. The amount of work that has been put in that vehicle. But for those of you who will be coming for Mad for Fun, you will be delighted to see it in action. So, guys, allow me to wish you a good night. But because I've done it for a shorter time today, next Wednesday I'll try give you a longer time, and also we're going to try do more truck reviews and some few other interesting trucks, not trucks, some interesting reviews, like actually testing the range of some of the EVs in the Kenyan market, because every day these vehicles are becoming a reality. So, ladies and gentlemen, have a good night. I can see today our live has gone for 52 minutes. So thank you so much, and keep it Auto Connect.